Welcome to TeraBrief, where we break down global events with clarity and depth. Today we're looking at a crisis that has shaken the world's fastest-growing aviation market. India's airline giant IndiGo suddenly cancelled thousands of flights, stranded passengers, and triggered chaos across the country. But this isn't just a story of cancelled flights. It's a story of system failure, regulatory shock, overworked staff, and a dangerous dependence on a single airline. Let's break down exactly what happened and why this crisis could reshape aviation forever. The trouble began when IndiGo, India's largest airline, abruptly cancelled an enormous number of flights, thousands within days. At airports across Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, Kolkata, Chennai, and more, passengers arrived ready to travel, only to discover their flights were delayed, rescheduled, or erased altogether. Lines stretched for hours. People missed weddings, business trips, exams, and international connections. Airports turned into overcrowded waiting halls filled with anger and confusion. But what caused the collapse? A sudden shortage of crew, triggered by new government safety rules that changed how long pilots must rest between flights. These rules were meant to protect pilots. But IndiGo wasn't prepared. Here's where the real story emerges. Indian regulators introduced stricter pilot duty time and rest rules to reduce fatigue, a long-standing issue in aviation. But instead of adjusting quickly, IndiGo kept operating its high-frequency schedule without adding backup pilots or modifying flight rotations. So overnight, pilots who were once scheduled to fly suddenly couldn't. Entire routes lost available crew, and IndiGo's tightly packed, cost-efficient network collapsed like a domino chain. This crisis wasn't random, it was the result of over-optimization. IndiGo ran a system so tightly wound that one regulatory change unraveled its entire operation. Here's the frightening part. IndiGo controls nearly 65% of India's domestic aviation market. That means more than 1 out of every 2 passengers depends on IndiGo. So when IndiGo collapsed, the entire aviation system felt it. Other airlines were overwhelmed. Ticket prices on alternate carriers exploded. Entire airports struggled. Tourist and business travel slowed down instantly. This crisis exposed a dangerous reality. India, one of the world's largest aviation markets, is too dependent on a single airline. IndiGo isn't just an airline, it's a critical infrastructure, and when it failed, the whole system cracked. For passengers, the impact was devastating. Families were stranded overnight. Elderly travelers were left sitting on airport floors. Students missed exams. People lost deposits on hotels and events. And even when refunds were issued, many passengers still lost non-refundable hotels, connecting flight costs, business opportunities, and precious moments they couldn't recreate. Meanwhile, the economic impact rippled outward. Hotels lost weekend travelers. Tour operators cancelled bookings. Rideshare and taxi drivers lost airport business. And cargo shipments tied to passenger flights were delayed. This wasn't just a flight disruption. It was a national shockwave. The Indian aviation regulator DGCA stepped in fast. They demanded explanations. They threatened penalties. They questioned IndiGo's staffing practices. The controversy also forced government officials to reconsider the new regulations, leading to changes, reversals, and further confusion. IndiGo, once praised as a model low-cost airline, suddenly faced questions about crew planning, operational safety, corporate governance, market dominance, and passenger compensation. What was once India's pride became India's aviation headache. This isn't just an Indian story. Airlines around the world are watching closely, because this is a warning for global aviation. Over-optimizing flight schedules, pushing staff to limits, and relying heavily on one carrier creates a fragile system. Many countries rely on a dominant airline, and this crisis shows the risks. If this can happen in one of the world's fastest growing economies, it can happen anywhere. IndiGo is now attempting to stabilize operations. They're adding crew, adjusting schedules, and trying to rebuild trust. But, reputation takes time to repair. Passengers may shift to rivals. Regulators may tighten oversight, and investors may demand structural changes. This crisis isn't over, and the aviation world is still learning from it. If you want more deep, clear breakdowns of global events, subscribe to TeraBrief, where we explain the world in minutes. Thanks for watching and stay informed.